everyone, welcome back to my channel. Carissa here with Berean Academy, homeschooling gracefully. Hi buddy, I have a little helper today. No, don't grab it. So I just wanted to do an update on our daily schedule. If you followed me for a little bit, you know that I talked about our rhythm a little while ago. And that has changed. A big part of the change is actually our change in, whoa buddy, sorry, he's shaking it. Has been our change in curriculum. We're switching over to master books, as you probably know if you've watched any of my other videos, from Sunlight, and actually from Mystery of History. I don't know if I've talked about, we've actually decided to go ahead and go with master books history as well. Nobody, sorry. You sit over here, my mama. So thanks to master books and the shorter lessons, I'm finding that we're actually able to incorporate a lot of things that were important to me, but not really a priority, I think I would say. Things that I would say I wanted to do and wanted to include in our homeschool, but just felt overwhelmed at the fact of like, how are we going to manage this? All these things that I want to do, all these beautiful things. With the time that it takes just to get through reading and math, basically. This is my Mardell planner, by the way, which I love. And I ordered the one that's coming out for 2019-2020. I have planned out here in our planner our schedule, and I don't have any times. It's more just like times of day. So in the morning, we do a morning basket, and that usually includes our Bible, and I just read a chapter. I read aloud whatever we're doing. We try to incorporate living books, and that's one of the first things we started to incorporate when we started, Charlotte Mason homeschooling, just to pick books we chose history, that were involved or in the time period or whatever we happen to be talking about history-wise, to pick a book that really placed you in that time, placed you walking alongside these people, to make it real and come alive for the children. So we still do that. We do that in the morning. That's our read aloud. And then we do a hymn study. So each week we pick a hymn, or I pick a hymn, and we sing it together, and the children can write. My oldest will do some light copy work. So at the end of the week, she's written down maybe a verse of the hymn. And sometimes they'll watercolor or do something like that. He is busy today. Okay, then we have breakfast. That's pretty self-explanatory. We like to eat. After breakfast and getting dressed and whatever, moseying a bit in the morning, playing, we go ahead and do some table work, which would be our language arts and phonics for my younger daughter, and independent reading. And during this time, of course, I have toddlers and babies just sort of wreaking havoc, but we make do. I usually give them a snack, and we do what I call our loop notebooking studies. We loop a picture study, music study, poetry, and nature study. So for whatever we're on, and we just, from one day to the next, it's not like Monday is music day, but just going through the list, whatever day, we do that. So like for nature, my kids have these little super simple, like this is just a piece of paper folded in half, stapled. This would be a nature study book. We'd go outside and they would say what the weather was like, where we were at. Usually it's our yard. Draw a picture, and I'd help them write a keyword. For picture study, I'll pull up. We have a lot of great books actually that have, like a children's book of art. So these great works of art for kids to look at, write down their observations, narrate their observations, draw a picture, something like that. Same with music, listening, talking about it, poetry, maybe illustrating something while I read poetry to them. All right, then we'll have a total brain break, alternating heavy subjects with light subjects. So like language arts takes a lot more brain power than sitting and discussing what you liked about a picture. Then we eat lunch, and they play, and then we come back and we sit down and do our math. And these again are short lessons, like 15-20-minute lessons. We snack, and then we do another loop that includes our history and our science. One of the great things about these shorter lessons, which is very important, full focus for a short amount of time versus a long drawn out lesson that they only really paid attention for 10 minutes of it or something. One of the beautiful things is being able to incorporate these nature studies and music and poetry and hymn, all these things that I just felt overwhelmed by when we first started looking at the Charlotte Mason method. I thought, oh, this is perfect for my homeschool, but you want to say hi? Hi. That's little Elsie. This is my first grader. It always appealed to me. It always seemed like the perfect way to structure our day, but it just wasn't feasible. So between shorter lessons and looping our subjects, I don't cram in music, picture, nature every single day. History, science, every single day. So daily, Bible, most important. I'm growing my children's faith. I am discipling them. I want them to know Jesus in a very real way. I want them to have a relationship with him. That is the number one priority of my homeschool. And that also is my number one reason for loving master books so thoroughly and wanting to just jump in all subjects. Then math and reading happens every day. Then we get to fill the rest of our days doing all these supposed extras that I just never thought that I would have time for. I never really thought that I would have those in my homeschool without it being stressful or overwhelming or just insanity. And don't get me wrong, our days can still be insane. They are, actually. But we're getting a lot more balance in our day and just overall more joy. So it's been great. So that is our Charlotte Mason style schedule and a few little tips on how we are able to fit in all these great things. And I would say definitely, like, the first thing, if you're interested in Charlotte Mason approach, which we're kind of a mix of that and traditional, but if you're interested in it, just start by picking read alouds that are the quote-unquote living books, and there's a ton of information about that on a million different channels, and then trying to fit in an afternoon study of either or any time that works for your homeschool, but intentional time on music, poetry, nature, anything like that. That is all that I have for y'all today. Until next time, happy schooling.